Yo, what is up? This is Christian. I know it's been a minute. Things have been a little crazy, to be honest. I've been focusing a lot more on, I guess, my actual job, my day job, you could say, even though I predominantly only work there on the weekends. I work at a hospital, and the number of cases in my city for COVID have increased exponentially. It's been kind of ridiculous. And the hospital I work at, you know, it went from being not very close to capacity to exceeding capacity. We're breaking records. It's been pretty wild. So I fell off for a bit, and this has always been on the back of the mind. This is what I want to be doing. I'm going to be enjoying myself, programming, improving as I go. I fell off from school as well. I fell off from a lot of things. So I wanted to try something different. I haven't really meddled with LeetCode. I know it's something that I've heard a lot about, but I've always been about HackerRank because 5 years ago that was the thing I did. I don't even know if LeetCode was around at that time, but so I want to try this out. It took me a little while to figure out the interface, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. To some 46% acceptance. What does that mean? Um, Not sure. I guess we'll go based off a number. So we'll try a two-sum, and then we'll just go to the next one, see what happens. I'm going to skip the tour. I might regret that later, but it is what it is. Back on that Python grind. So given an array of integers, nums, and an integer target, return indices of the two numbers that add up to the target. Okay. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution. You may not use the same element twice. Okay. I don't really like being full screen. I can't read the side ones. This is it. We gotta get the target. Output 0 and 1. Yeah, because that's the total. Okay. 3, 2, 4. We want 6, so 2 and 4. So 1 and 2. 3 and 3. So target is 6, 0, 1. So how many was it the assumption that exactly one solution? Okay. Okay, interesting. Alright, we can do this. So this I guess this is a lot easier to look at because versus when we were doing HackerRank, we had that main class with all that stuff that was used to do the test constraints. But this one just gives you a class, and then it gives you a very simple method you can use. I don't know if we'll have to run that method through, write our own main class, but I guess we'll find out. So self nums. What is self? Okay, I guess it's not as easy as I thought it was gonna be. Whoa. Points to, it returns a list. Okay. I think we'll see how it goes. I don't even know how to read this, to be honest. I've never seen a method written like that. But so for I in nums, see, I don't like doing it like that. So we'll get the length of that for I in range, and we'll put the length of that array. Oops. Okay, so now we're going through every single index, but technically we're going to need a 2D array, which I don't know how efficient this is. I know actually it's not efficient at all. I think that's how you write it. Or is it I colon? Something like that, right? So we'll go current nums of I. We'll do sum. We'll do current sum equals the current num plus the one we're looking at, so that'll be num of j, right? Something I've been thinking about is, so a lot of people, for a lot of people, software engineering is kind of like, that's their end goal. That's where they want to be. That's what they want to do. But for me, software engineering, it's kind of it's a stepping stone. Because of the fact that I don't know if I want to be a software engineer for the rest of my life. Actually, I know for a fact that I'm not going to want to do this forever. I'm going to want to change at some point. And in order to do that, I can't focus on just like learning how to program. I need to focus on building skills that are universal. So when I think about solving a programming problem, I need to think about solving in a way that is universal. So if I solve this problem this way, how can I apply this to another field? How can this be more applicable? How can this be more, as I said, universal? So that's something I've been considering a lot. I haven't sat down and really thought about it, but I know I'm at a point where I need to start focusing on that more, becoming more flexible, becoming more adaptable in that sense. So I was just thinking about that because, I always run into problems like this. So if the current sum equals, I don't think that equals, how do we search for the equals? So it is double equals, okay. Then in this case we'll return I don't know if this is gonna work, honestly. We'll go I'm writing it like this because I'm not sure how you're supposed to do it. I comma j. So this should be it, honestly. We'll go through everything like that, and then that should give us the final answer. Because it said that we're assuming only one valid answer exists. So yeah. So that should be it, right? So how do I test this? Oh, here it is. It's hiding behind me. Move myself up a little bit. Invalid syntax. Okay. It's that colon thing, right? Yeah. So we gotta double check how to write this. This does 3, 4, 5, so it is a comma. Okay. So we'll do a comma here. That's supposed to be numbs. Alright, awesome. Wow. That was actually really, really satisfying. What does this mean? I don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah. So if we submit it, let's see what happens. Ooh, interesting. It gives you some interesting stats. So mine's a little bit slower than a lot of. Memory usage 15.1 megabytes, less than 16.68%. So it was accepted, but um, it technically wasn't as efficient as it could be. So how? Let's see if I can look at other submissions. Ooh, okay. Approach 1, the brute force approach is simple. Loop through each element. Yeah, that's what I did. They did this using Java. What if you don't know Java? That's funny. Okay. Ooh, so they had an exception here. That's something I didn't add. 2-pass hash table. Oh god. Dude, this is actually pretty cool. What? Look at how many solutions they have. Oh, what is this? Oh, they have comments. What? What's the fastest way in Python? Obviously using dictionary. Use dictionary. What is this? What if I just clicked on a virus? What? Dude, there's so many more solutions to this, and they're more um I guess versus HackerRank where you have that giant list with just you could look at everyone's solutions, but it wasn't just anyone could solve it. It didn't tell you about complexity or anything like that. Oh man, this is cool. I like this. I'm into this. So mine wasn't the best way to do it. Let me see how they did it using hash tables. Honestly, I took my data structures class like 5 years ago. It's been a minute. And I'm taking an algorithms class right now. And I'm telling you, we're going over binary search trees, and I'm lost. I'm so lost. I have a lot of room to improve right now. To prove our runtime complexity, we need a more efficient way to check if the complement exists in an array. If the complement exists, we need to look up its index. What is the best way to maintain a mapping of each element in the array to its index? A hash table. I don't even remember how hash tables work, to be honest. Let me look this up. This is so cool. Hash tables are used to implement map and set data structures in the most common programming language. Whoa. So it sets things up with a key. A key is converted into an integer index by using a hash function. This index decides the linked list where the key value pair record belongs. So why aren't they using 0? Why do they have 2 here? Oh, they use some sort of, okay, they use a percent sign. So it kind of stacks them, but how do you sort through it? Yo, this is cool. This is actually really cool. So one of my software engineering buddies was telling me that he was asking me, he's like, hey, like, how often do you use data structures like linked lists and hash tables and whatnot? And I was like, dude, I just use arrays, bro. Like, I don't need to use that stuff. And he's like, he just kind of paused for a second. He's like, dude, like, you need to get on those data structures. Because during coding interviews, he said, I don't think I've ever been in a coding interview where they just let us use arrays like that. Like, they always ask you to use data structures. You need to get on that practice, and this is a valuable resource. Like, it's asking me to use hash tables. I don't even remember how to use hash tables. But this is giving me an example of a problem I just solved using approach number one, which is like brute force, which is not obviously not the best approach. Um, it's the most complex n squared. See, um, and this is a two-pass hash table, which is from O to the N to O1. Wow, I don't even remember big O notation, to be honest. Time complexity O to the N, which traverses the list containing n elements once. Each lookup in the table costs only O to the one time. What? Dude, this is awesome. I guess we're switching over to LeetCode now. But I was gonna wrap things up. So something I've been thinking about a lot is I've been noticing I have a tendency to fall off and then get back on eventually, but I always feel resistance towards coming back. I'm always like, man, I've been gone for way too long. Should I come back? I don't know if I should. And it really makes me think about times when I used to be on my grind. It used to be easy. When I played soccer, I remember I remember being going to lunch, eating my lunch as fast as I possibly could, running out to play soccer with people. And then I'd go home and I played video games that contained soccer with my soccer friends. And then I played on a soccer team with my soccer friends. And it was just this vibe where I was just playing soccer all the time. And I was, better than average. I wouldn't say I was ridiculously good, but it was just all I thought about, all I wanted to do, is because of the fact that I created that environment around myself. I was always playing soccer. And, unfortunately, other things suffered because I was always playing soccer. I ended up failing a history class when I was in high school. I remember talking to my dad about the grade, and he was furious. He made me quit soccer at that point. And I lost a lot in that moment. I lost like a part of myself. I got really sad. And people would always ask me, hey, why don't you play soccer anymore? Why don't you come play soccer? And, I was kind of, I don't know. In a way, I blamed my father, but technically it was my fault. I could have jumped back on once I got my grades back up, but I had already been gone, and I tried playing again, and I just lost all that skill that I had, all that talent, all those connections I had. I had just completely lost it. And I just, similar to this, where I fall off for a little while, I just felt the resistance towards coming back. I knew for a fact I wasn't going to be as good as I was before, which is normal. I should understand that. But it's just, I don't know, it's just hard. And similar to programming, the reason I've been falling off so often is because I don't really have a lot of people around me that are in a similar situation, trying to push themselves, trying to get better at programming, always programming. I need more people like that in my life. The people I have in my life are my friends from like high school. I have a friend that's a nurse. I have a friend that's a news anchor. I have a friend that's in med school. And then I have my friend that's was a software engineer, but he lives in a different state. I only talk to him every once in a while through the phone. And, I talk to a few people in my class, but that's about it, It's hard to maintain this grind, maintain this mentality to continue to push yourself when it feels like you're by yourself almost. Luckily I have my software engineering friend that holds me accountable. We talk about stuff, but it's like a 50-50, I talk about my stuff and then he also talks about his stuff. And so I can't it's one of those things where I can't be talking about my stuff all the time because in in my perspective it's kind of selfish because he's going through a job change, job transition, and he's going through a different path, and I don't want to be talking about my stuff all the time because I want to hear about his stuff. I mean, that's what a friendship is. And I need excuse me, I need more friends where not even friends, just like people that are doing this stuff. So I've been thinking about reaching out to people, in my classes, online, um, finding people that are doing what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm zoomed all the way out. This is probably kind of weird for you guys. Um, my room's actually not that clean. Luckily, it's kind of high up. But I need to find people that are doing what I'm doing and, kind of connect with them, interact with them. And it's really hard to do it online. I'm telling you that. I don't know if any of you guys are taking online classes, but when you get into groups and whatnot, a lot of people don't even turn on their microphones. We'll be in the group and you'll ask a question and they'll just type in chat. I don't know if it's because they're just uncomfortable, or they're just introverted, or it's just like weird for them. It's weird for everyone, but I don't know. It's just different, especially being out of school for 5 years. Like, I didn't think coming back to school would be this different. I was kind of a pretty big rant, to be honest, but it feels good to get that off my chest a little bit. It felt really good to get that programming problem down on the first try. I'm definitely going to read over those solutions to improve my knowledge of programming and see how I can use what I've learned from this problem in the future. I might record a different video, um, kind of trying to use these problems or re-implementing. I don't know. We'll see. But that'll wrap things up for this one. Catch you guys in the next one.